Welcome into the 4 on 5 podcast. My name is Sahil, and I'll be your host today. Today we're doing Contender series slash trade deadline analysis. Um, the idea basically was that we had a bit of a quiet trade deadline. We want to do a recap today, but not sure much happened that we can analyze. So we just decided to take the season as a whole, review who we think are contenders. The way we have it set up are tier one, tier two, and tier three contenders. Um, my personal definition, I think we're going to go around and everyone give their definitions. My personal definition is tier one are teams that I am confident will win two playoff series regardless of what happens. Like they can get hard matchups and they probably still win two series. Um, Tier one is for the teams that I actually think are contending for a title. Tier two are teams that a lot has to break for them to get there. Tier three is quite frankly you're not winning a championship. I don't believe in you, which is a death sentence in the NBA. If I, Sahil Patel, don't believe in you, it means you can't win a title. Those are the rules. I am going to pass it over to John to get defined. John, what are your definitions of tier one, tier two, tier three?
So my definition for tier one is not locks, but I would say like around the top seven or top five to seven teams that are able to win a championship and like the leaders, the real leaders of their like respective conferences.
So
And
that's
then
actually, hold up one second. Interesting thing. You have
Five
five
is a lot.
teams in tier
Five's a
one.
lot, yeah. But hey,
I'll say in both conferences, yeah. So like two to
You
three.
have five in both conferences?
No. Five overall. So like two
Yeah.
from each conference. Like
Okay, that's interesting. I'm 3 to 4. I'm 3 to 4.
I'm around 3 to 4.
all right, John.
I'm like 4 to 5, but
The way I look at it is like inner circle, outer circle, and then not in the circle. Not in the circle is tier 3.
really not in the circle is for me is the Pistons, Hornets, and Spurs.
Yeah, no, but they're not contenders.
Yeah,
We're
but they're not
talking
being
about them.
discussed today
not
at all.
talking about them.
We're talking
Yeah,
about tier
We
3
should talk about
contenders.
So like, would you? But I feel like that's kind of
Hold
weird.
on, we'll get into the teams later. Just give your reasoning.
Tier two, I would say it would be teams that are capable of winning a championship or just not there. Like they don't have it. I feel like by the end of the season they can get it figured out, but they wouldn't be considered one of the favorites. But I can't rule them out completely. And tier three are the teams we rule out completely, and like they have no chance of this season.
Dan, you want to go ahead and give him?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. My tier one is basically, I believe that basically whatever team is in front of you, that you can make the championship. Like you don't need to, the things don't need to fall right for you. I think that if I had to place bets on teams or like put chips on teams, I believe that you could win the championship, right? And I was probably 3 to 4 in my first tier. Sorry, my second tier would probably be like teams that I think need kind of injury luck or matchup luck, or like you match up well against this team and you probably make it to the Western, like you kind of break into the Western Conference Finals, and then you might have a chance to make the finals and win it all, but it really just depends on matchup and everything else. And my tier three is you could win a series, you can win two series, but I don't really believe in you to make the conference finals. You probably can. There's a possibility, but I don't believe in you to make the conference finals.
That sounds valid as well. I would say my tier one are teams, like you guys have been saying, those very rare 3 to 4 teams in the league that are capable of winning it all this season. And we're gonna discuss who they are. But those teams that are not, like Dan was saying, matchup based, and the teams that are gonna be like teams that can just win a series without any type of luck, injury, mishaps, anything like that. Even if one role player on their team goes down, their whole team doesn't suffer. So teams like that, I think, are in my tier one. Teams in my tier two are going to be teams who are a little bit of the sleeper picks. Like they could get lucky with a matchup, like Dan was saying, and they could also just I just want to say that this is being recorded, right? So they can see our chat. But anyway, my fault, guys. I didn't mean to cut it off there. My tier two are going to be the sleeper picks for me, guys who I think can squeeze their way in. And my tier 3 are are teams coming out of the play-in, most likely. That's probably gonna be my tier 3. It will be those teams. But yeah, let's move on. I think my brother has some stuff he wants to say before we get started on the teams, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to yeah, I think my brother is right. I think chats are viewable for the recording, so just
Yeah.
let's keep that in mind.
Fun. Yeah, Dan.
No worries, no worries. We can
Guys, yeah, sorry about this. Also,
We can disable
Dan,
chat.
yeah, Dan's a little busy right at the moment,
yeah,
but he'll be
no
back
worries.
in
All right,
10
so
seconds.
I'm gonna let
Hold
Dan
on.
get
Sorry,
us.
guys. I'm back. My fault.
No, I know,
I'm
but
here.
I'm gonna let you get us kicked off. Um,
Okay.
First team, so we're gonna go by league standings. So read us off league standings. Who's the number 1 seeded team in the NBA right now?
Drum roll? No drum roll? What do we think? Nah,
No, no
Celtics.
drum roll. It's
Yeah,
who it
Celtics.
is.
Celtics.
They don't
Boston.
deserve it. Yeah. So Boston Celtics. All right. Let's ping it over. Dan, what do you think about the Boston Celtics? Where do they sit on your tiers? So let's first
Celtics
count the rounds.
are
So let's just go. You go, then just say tier. What tier? Go quick.
okay. Tier 1.
Numero uno.
Tier 1 as well.
Tier 2. Just talk,
Ooh.
go for it. Talk about it.
Hey, he has to. He has
Wait,
to.
hold on. Time out. You don't think there's you don't think the Celtics could beat every single team in a 7-game series in the East?
That's not what I said. I said I think they're a tier 2 title contender.
So you
That
don't have
doesn't-
a
they can't win
But
the
by
East.
your
It just
definition,
means
it
I
would
don't
mean
think
that
they'll win the East. Tier 1 means this. Here's what tier 1 means. Tier 1,
okay.
I think you're going to win your conference. I have 3 teams in that group because I think one of the conferences has a really enticing Western Conference Finals matchup coming. That's it.
So
All it means.
I want to ask this, but I don't want to spoil it.
No, we're
I'm
not.
gonna.
Don't. Yeah, don't.
So the Celtics are by far the best team in the East, though. Like
No.
it's not even close.
No, I
And
disagree.
no,
I
like
disagree outright.
record wise.
They're only
record-wise.
5 games ahead to the 2 seed. And the 2 seed
5
is in my
games is
tier
a
1.
lot.
That is a
5
lot of
games is not a lot when the 2 seed has missed their third and fourth best players for 30 games. They're 17-1. I'm not going to say who it is quite yet, but because I will have a whole case to be made for them. But let's just talk about the Celtics. Go. We'll go Dan, John, and then you can go, and then I can go. Let's go.
First off, I thought I was going to be the one to come in here and be like, guys, the Celtics aren't that good. Because I believe that I think the Celtics are the best team in the East. I think they have the defense. They have the defense for it. They have the personnel. They have the offense, and they have the best role player in the NBA. First ballot Hall of Famer, Derek White. I'm sorry, we're good actually. And I think that there is no team in the East that the Celtics cannot beat. I think you could go through every single team, and the Celtics beat every single team in a 7-game series. I think there's no injury luck, no matchup luck. I think they go in there and they beat every single team in a maximum 6-game series. I don't think it goes to 7 for any of those teams. Any. And I think once they make the finals, I think there's maybe 3-4 teams 2 to 3 teams in the East that can probably give them problems.
West.
Sorry. Thank you.
Well, for me, I know first team, but the Celtics are my favorite to win the NBA championship. Just want to come out there and put that on the record. I think they have five all-star caliber players. I know it sounds crazy. I think Tatum, I think Brown. I think Tatum, Brown, Derek White, and Porzingis, and I think Drew Holiday are all all-star caliber players. Let me just get that off the table. 1, 2, I think they have the best defense in the league, which is one of the keys it takes to win an NBA championship. And I think with that comes their phenomenal offense too. Having a top 7 NBA player in Jason Tatum, a top like 25 to 30 player in Jaylen Brown, top 25 to 30 player Derek White, they have like top players all across the board. I think their defense is amazing. They have a top 10 offense in the NBA. You could say top 5. It's like to be pushing it, but I would say those are the and I think in my opinion, having that top 10 defense they have the best defense. I think having that top 10 offense with the top 7 player is just an intangible, and it sets you up great for winning the NBA championship. So they're my tier 1.
Me, right? The reason they're in my tier 1 is they have, first of all, I'll just say they have a top 3 player in the East, the third best player in the East, in my opinion, in Jason Tatum. I would go Embiid, Mitchell, Tatum.
He's better than Giannis?
Ooh. Yeah, what?
Guys, oh
I can respect the
Mitchell-
trip. I can
Mitchell-
respect,
I
particularly
can't,
playoffs.
we
Particularly
have to keep it
playoffs.
moving.
Yes.
No, Mitchell's not better than Giannis.
No,
Let's
Giannis,
stop.
no,
Donovan Mitchell's the
Jason
best
Tatum
player
has
in the East, straight up.
Donovan Mitchell is the second best player in the East. Yeah.
He's better than so. Sal, you think you said he's better than Embiid?
I think in the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell will be the best player in the East, 100%.
Right.
Why
okay.
didn't he do that? Well, why didn't he do that last year against the Knicks?
Zero
out-
players on the Cavs had a good series last year.
He got outplayed. Okay, but he's
Do you know
he's
what the
best
average
player.
age of the Cavs was
He
last
got
year?
He got outplayed by Jalen Brunson, who's a fringe top 4 point guard in the East. No, in the league. That's kind of crazy. In the league,
Okay, regardless, keep banging your case, dude.
Yeah. I think they have a top 3 player in the East. I think Tatum, his game has evolved this season so much with the way he's passing the ball and the way he's his defense this season has been amazing. I just don't see teams I don't see the Celtics failing this year. That being said, there's still teams on the West that I think can beat them, but they are my favorite to come out of the East. I think Tingus Pingus this season has been a phenomenal defender. He's been a phenomenal shooter, first of all. He's been one of the best shooting big men in the NBA this season. And he's a great shot blocker. He maybe isn't the greatest paint just threat on defense, but I think he's a damn good one. Derek White, obviously, I'm not gonna get sarcastic with Derek White, but I think Derek White is the perfect player in the playoffs, and I think he will come and show us why he is so valuable to the team. He's gonna be that force of calm, that cool, just collected player that you can just rely on consistently throughout the playoffs. And I think Tatum is also going to be relied on. And if your third or fourth best player is Jaylen Brown, then you're set. To me, I think that's a fantastic team. Their defense looks amazing. And I think they're deep as well. I think they're pretty deep. They have players off the bench. Now, they're not the deepest team, but they have guys off the bench that even mesh well with their starters. And that's why I love it. I think Peyton Pritchard can get mixed in with the starters sometimes. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Celtics this season. I think they are a tier 1 contender.
All right, so let me rip into the Celtics. Mind you, this has no bearing on me being a Lakers fan. I love Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum is a phenomenal basketball player. I think Jason Tatum is going to be a Laker at some point. I love Jason Tatum. I, in fact, don't even actively root against the Celtics. I don't mind if they win basketball games as long as it's not against the Lakers, all right? Because it doesn't affect my seeding. I just don't want them to win championships because, well, obviously I don't want them to win championships with the Lakers. That being said, I'm very honest about them. I thought they were going to win the title 3 years ago unless they played the Warriors. They happened 2 years ago, technically. The only team that I thought could beat them in the finals was the Warriors, purely because they were built to exploit the Robert Williams paint. They were doing a lot of X switching out in order to keep Robert Williams near the paint, and I figured the Warriors could exploit that, yada, yada, yada. My similar issue with the Celtics this year, okay. During the first half of the season, Jason Tatum shot 28% on pull-up threes. He has now rescued this up to a 32% on pull-up threes, okay? And he shoots 5 or 6 a game. It is a horrendous shot diet with this team. Consistently taking just the idea or the philosophy as explained to me by Boston analysts on Twitter was that Joe Mazzulla believes as many threes as you can get up, the more scoring potential you have as a team. Okay, cool. If Kristaps Porzingis shoots 40% in the playoffs this year, I will be stunned. I think he is going through a fluky, hot run of shooting. He has been in the league 8 years, 4 or 5 of them middling shooting seasons. He's had a few good years as a shooter. I do not believe Kristaps Porzingis is an elite shooter of the basketball. I do not believe that they have many elite shooters of the basketball, but I know that they're going to put them shots up. My biggest issue with this squad is that it's poor role utilization. Jason Tatum has double the possessions as a pick and roll ball handler as he does as a post-up player, and he's 40% more effective as a post-up player. It's the wrong way to play him. It's just categorically an idiotic thing to do. Now, I have no reason to believe that in the playoffs, all of a sudden, they're going to lean into the Tatum Kawhi comp, because that's his comp, realistically. I think Jason Tatum is a better version of Kawhi Leonard at his peak at some point. He needs to be, that's what his vision is. He's a better passer. I think he's a better team defender than Kawhi. I think he lacks just the absolute isolation scoring that Kawhi Leonard provides, but he's not far off. So that's my criticism of Jason Tatum's style of play. Jaylen Brown, I mean, great guy. Love the dude. Not as big fan of the player. I've seen him get schemed out of every single playoff series he's ever played in. Just, I can't, show me. Kristaps Porzingis, I don't believe he's going to shoot 70% on post-ups. Call me crazy. Can he shoot 70% on post-ups?
I want to say, Kristaps, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say part of that is him being the most efficient off the switch. I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but Kristaps Porzingis leads the league in switched post-ups. So when he gets switched onto, or when a small guard, when anybody who's not a center gets switched onto him, he leads the league in percentage. And I think in the playoffs, I don't see a reason why they stop switching. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I see what you're saying, but my point is this: he's shooting 70% on those shots. I will bet my bottom dollar that Kristaps Porzingis does not shoot 70%. And mind you, this has been his thing his whole career. He has always struggled to abuse mismatches for one reason and one reason only. His center of gravity is too high, and he doesn't back players down well. And so when small players get on him, he takes these turnaround J's. Now, maybe, this is entirely possible, he's reached the age of 29, 28, and he's just become really good at that shot. And that turnaround J from 16, 18 feet, or that hook from 14 feet is just money now. I believe that it could be money, but I think it's more in line with a 55 to 62% shot than a 70% shot. Now, that margin of error, along with the increased variance of their shot diet being extremely three-point dependent, I just don't trust that in the playoffs. I think you can get run out of the gym. Let me tell you who I would love to see them play in round one. I'd love to see an Indiana Celtics series, because I know that Indiana will win 2 games outright. I know they'll win 2 games just off of shooting, just off of the offensive explosion that they have. So they got 2 games in the bag, I believe. Those 2 at home, guaranteed. So I think you could have a legit 2-2 series heading into the last 3, and it would be an interesting series to me. I think I would be very compelled to watch that. My point is, I think Indiana is frankly not good at this point, and if you are that susceptible to Indiana, I don't see how I can have you as a tier 1 contender. I'm not saying the Celtics can't win a title. I'm just saying I don't believe in them as much as I believe in other teams. That being said, they match up supremely well against the best team, my belief as the best team in the East, in the Cavs. Jason Tatum would bully a lot of the Cavs wings. Dean Wade would have to play 40 minutes to keep up. It is a bit of a cause for concern. If that's the specific matchup in the ECF, I would probably side with the Celtics, but
well, I mean,
it also is a bit of a bummer for me that Embiid's hurt, because I thought this was his year to beat his Dominican father. I thought this was the year that he beats Al Horford. I've said this since November. He's playing so well in the Nurse system. I thought this was the year he really got after Al Horford and just torched him in the playoffs.
I think he's coming back for playoff time though, right?
It's not.
Wait, would you
Honestly,
feel better about this team if they were coached by Ime Udoka? Or just
yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Everybody
knows how I feel about Ime Udoka on this panel of people that we have. I think if they still have Ime Udoka, they run a similar offense to what they had a couple years ago, instead of this Joe Mazzulla jungle ball, where it's get up as many shots as
I
possible.
can't lie. I don't know the difference between those two offenses. Like, I never thought Ime had a good offense. I can't lie. I thought
think-
that offense was
no.
stinky.
Ime was also more defensive centric.
Yeah. But okay,
And-
so let me make my last point before you
Go ahead.
train, because we can transition to another team. My biggest thing is that it's Kristaps Porzingis. He's not gonna not play drop. You understand? Dude, Tyrese Halliburton pulling up on Kristaps Porzingis, that's not gonna be fun. If they play the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey pulling up, not gonna be fun. If they play the Knicks, Jalen Brunson pulling up, not gonna be fun. That's 40% pull up 3-point shooters on the year. That's risky business. I can't lie. The East has never been guard rich in my lifetime, and they're finally getting that guard depth, and it's finally getting interesting there. I think drop bigs in the playoffs, there's an inherent risk. So I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to come out of the year looking like a fraud. For the people watching on audio, I put quotation marks. I don't think he's a fraud. I think the media and guys like Stephen A. Smith, who called him Tingus Pingus, are going to call him a fraud, and I want you to ignore them when they tell you that. But just know that his current season, I don't believe it's sustainable for the playoffs. That is my case for Tier 2 Celtics.
And I will say, last thing, sorry. I think Kristaps is going to be the reason that they make it far. I think he's going to be a mature basketball player. I think him, Tatum are both going to be mature. I hope to everything that is good that Tatum sticks to his strengths, and he plays the basketball that he's best at and not the ISO ball that he is prone to play. But yeah, if he sticks to what he's good at, and I think Porzingis is going to be steady in the playoffs. But yeah, let's wait for him to come back. I think he's just grabbing his water bottle. Dan, if you want to get us started on the next team.
Next team we got here, one of my favorite teams in the West, the Wolves.
Yeah, let's.
You want to start us off, or
John, you want to start us off? We'll all
John,
go
go
through.
ahead, actually.
We'll go do
Let's go
tiers.
just the same order. Same order.
order?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, bet.
Go for it.
Tier 2.
I have tier 2 as well.
I'm gonna go tier 3.
Tier 2.
Tier 3 is.
I don't think tier three is ridiculous.
I think.
I just think.
Oh, go ahead.
My fault. I think they're so matchup based. I think because let's say that in the first round they play. Let's see, if they play in the first round today, who would they play? Hold on, let me look real fast.
Wolves. Honestly,
They would play the Mavs. I think they beat the Mavs.
The Mavs.
I think they have. I'm not going. Hold on. Oh, I don't want to get into a Mavs side segment, but what the Mavs did in our trade deadline, getting PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, my goodness, did the Mavs look great? The Mavs, right here, clip it right now. Mavs are going on a win streak. Mavs are going to be the fifth seed at the end of the season.
Stop, dog, come on, focus on the Timberwolves. We'll get to the Mavs. They're in the league.
Sorry,
Oh man,
I'm just saying.
you locked in.
My fault.
You legit said I don't want to get off on a Mavs sideshow, and then
he went off on a Mad sideshow.
I
think we have less to say on the Timberwolves, so let's just get our cases out, and then we'll keep going to the next team.
I think Rudy Gobert is great defensively. I think if they play teams that are big heavy, like the Lakers or the Nuggets, or the Thunder aren't necessarily big heavy, but I feel like they have the personnel to beat the Thunder. I think they have the personnel to beat the Thunder. But I would say it would really matchup dependent, but I think they can make a Western Conference Finals. And then if everything breaks right for them, a Finals run.
I'd say I would say they're definitely closer to tier 3 than tier 1 for sure. But yeah, I think they have a lot going for them, but at the same time, I feel like they're lacking in a lot of areas. I don't know if I just when I see them play, I just don't know if it's it doesn't look like playoff basketball to me. Like Anthony Edwards is that guy for them, but I don't know if I feel like just crunch time, just when things going down to, I feel like they're the type of team to fall apart. And I feel like they're not a team that's really going to make that push to the playoffs. They're a young team that they really don't have a lot of deep run experiences. So when teams are outplaying them, I feel like Okay, yeah. One thing I really noticed about them is when teams outplay them, teams really outplay them. Like usually, like when teams outplays, not when they okay playoff wise, when other teams outplay a team, that other team usually like rebuttals and like puts a fight up. But the Timberwolves, when they get outplayed, it gets bad. So I don't think if that happens for 2 or 3 games, I don't know if it's sustainable. And I really don't see them winning a championship this year. I'm actually considering it taking them to tier 3, but I'm gonna
Should we
keep
set a
them.
limit on how many tier 2 teams we can have? So like tier 1 we should limit to 3 or 4. Tier 2 we should limit to 5. 5. I think we do because
I
we
can.
can't legitimately say that 9 teams can win the title this year. That feels unfair. Like 8 is a good
I
number.
think I have 4 or 5 on my tier
Can we
2.
do can
Yeah,
we do
okay.
4 tier 1s? Can we do 4 tier 1s?
You can do 4 tier 1s, but then you
What do
only get 4 in tier 2.
Yeah.
It's 8
Okay.
total. Like you got to
So
have 8
if that's the
in tiers
case,
1 and 2.
if that's the case, then I would have the Mavs at tier 3. I mean, not the Mavs. Sorry, the
T-Wolves.
Timberwolves. The
That's all.
Timberwolves. They're tier 3 to me. I don't see them winning the championship, but yeah, I don't see it happening.
I I have Matt. I mean, dang. I got
My
the
fault, y'all. My
Ain't got us messed
That's
up.
on me.
Okay.
I'm in love with the new Mavs roster. Sorry.
I started off, I'm gonna keep them Timberwolves in tier 3. I think the best player is the most impactful player, and in that is Rudy Gobert. As much as I despise Rudy Gobert, as much as y'all know, the people here know I despise Rudy Gobert, man. I don't rock with that man at all. But
Future Hall of Famer.
he's playing phenomenal basketball. I don't think he's the guy to rely on. I saw it in the Utah teams, and I'm seeing it now. You can't rely on him. Not in the playoffs. Teams will game plan against him, and they're gonna eat him up. He's an offensive non-threat, and it's gonna eat them up in the playoffs. I don't think if your first scoring option is Ant Edwards, I don't think you're gonna get very far in this league. That's not a shot to Ant Edwards at all. Um, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of him, but I don't despise him. He's not a fantastic shooter from 3. He's not a fantastic mid-range player. He's okay out of the post. The best trait about his offense is his ability to get to the basket, and finish at the basket. He can't not pass exceptionally well. And when you're in the playoffs and teams are specifically game planning against you and trying to shut you down, you need to learn how to make that pass, make certain passes. As for another guy like Cat, I genuinely don't. I rock with Cat, but he's shown me time and time again that he can't show up in the playoffs. And yeah, last thing is I don't think they have enough experience. I don't think they have enough experience to
I agree.
make it a deep playoff run. Yeah, we'll move on to the next team. Oh no, we won't. No, we won't. Let's Dan, I know you had something else to say about the Timberwolves, so I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
I got it. My
Rudy Go-
bad. My
Oh.
my cam was off. So
Let Dan go real
Just
quick.
real fast. The reason Rudy Gobert didn't work in Utah is because he was literally the only defender on that team. The reason that people will think, oh, like he was their second best defender was Royce O'Neal. I'm sorry, if Royce O'Neal is your second best, if he's your point of attack defender, you are not a great defensive team.
Royce O'Neal's a
at
really
the
good
Phoenix
defender.
Suns. Rose O'Neal is a good defender. I disagree, but
He's a pretty good defender.
Don't get me started on Royce.
that's a good point. That's fine. Yeah, you don't like Rose.
You know what I think is hilarious about this is my brother hated Donovan Mitchell when he was in Utah.
This is categorically false.
Not hated, sorry. But he did not like
blamed
Donovan.
him. I blamed him for the loss against the Clippers because guess what? If you can't stay in front of Terrence Mann, it's your fault. Surprise, surprise.
Thank you.
Stop.
Yes.
It was not
yes,
that he couldn't
yes,
stay in front of
yes,
Terrence Mann.
Yes.
That was not the problem. It was the problem was they were just leaving him open. Their game plan was to stop PG and Kawhi. Terrence Mann went off for 39 in one
Why
game.
wasn't he even in the series? He didn't even play.
And Terrence Mann got his 39 against Gobert, so I don't
No,
think
he didn't. He got his
No,
39
no.
off of 7 to 8 threes. Is Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert guarding 3-point line?
Rudy Gobert is meant
he
to
was-
help.
man was
John,
Terrence
On
John, you're
this
literally
team,
talking about
Rudy
that
Gobert
one
has
play.
defenders.
Stop. Jonathan is
No,
literally
talking
talking
about
about
the
no,
that
one
no.
play
one
where he
I'm
dunked
play.
Rudy
on him.
Gobert was assigned
Where
to
he got
Terrence
dunked
Mann.
on.
He was assigned to
No, he
Terrence.
Yes, he was
wasn't.
assigned to Terrence
No,
Mann.
he
They were
wasn't.
playing a zone. It was
Exactly.
a zone.
It was Rudy Gobert's job to get to the corner.
My dog.
Correct?
No, it wasn't.
Why
He
is
had
it a
No,
to
it's
do it
not.
because
seven-footer's
nobody.
Were they
John,
playing 2-3?
John,
Hold on, were they
John,
playing
in
2-3?
what world is it a 7-footer's job to go
Close
chase
out
out
in the
to
corner.
Ask
the
Quinn
three?
Snyder. Don't ask me. But were they playing a
He
2-3?
did his job. Is all I'm gonna say.
Anyway,
Now,
wait,
but
let me get in on the Timberwolves. Okay, I think y'all are a little lower on the T-Wolves than I am. I'm a little higher. I have them solidly in tier 2. I think they're the best matchup in the West for the Nuggets by far. I also
Thank you.
think that they are the best matchup for the Celtics in the West. I think they would beat the Celtics. They have had 2 overtime losses to the Celtics this year. They've only played twice, and they're only going to play twice, both OT games. That's a convincing enough thing, a small sample size, of course, but theoretically, you imagine a series where Rudy Gobert could get punished for his spacing, could get punished for being left out, left in the paint while Kristaps spaces, right? Well, guess what? You have another big man you can put on him. His name's Karl Anthony Towns, and guess who Rudy Gobert would guard? Rudy Gobert would guard Drew Holiday. Now, I'll be honest, in a 7-game series, the Celtics probably start Peyton Pritchard at some point instead of him, and then they torch them for a couple games. So I'm being realistic. The Celtics would probably beat them. But I just want to point out that the Wolves are the best counter for the Denver Nuggets. And in fact, I'll say it. If the Wolves play the Nuggets in a series, I can guarantee they win. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee that
don't
they
do
beat
that.
the defending champions.
Don't do that.
You know what's crazy? I'll double down
Guarantee-
on that. He has not told a lie in his session right now. He has not told a lie.
Yeah, because I'll
guarantee
guarantee it. I love them. Like, I got a Nikola Jokic jersey right behind me. I am a Nugget supporter. I love that team. I think they're great. I'm trying to tell you, this team is engineered to stop them. Every single thing that Nikola Jokic struggles against, bam. Every single thing that the only possible realistic way for them to win that series would be Jamal Murray, which he does, goes
Yeah.
nuclear. But here's
Stop.
the thing,
They're
that's
calling-
not
bro,
unrealistic
Because
anymore.
Jamal Murray, every time he plays like a team that is like a great team in the NBA, a contending
Bro.
team, he wants to put a 50, 40,
I'm
35.
telling you, they're calling Jamal Murray, a good team merchant.
Yeah, good team merchant. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But my last criticism of them as an offense, this is my primary concern. Anthony Edwards just isn't good enough. He just isn't. I'm not saying he won't be good enough in the future, but fundamentally, he is a god-awful mid-range shooter, okay? One of the people on this podcast, one person on this podcast, before this podcast was started, was lying on Anthony Edwards' name and said he was an elite playmaker and elite creator. He likened him to the likes of, who was it? God, I think you said that, he's like, you said he was a tier above Brandon Ingram as a creator. And I said, that is blasphemy. That is blasphemy. And it is blasphemy. He is at this point in his career, and he's still 22, 23. He's young. I'm not expecting him to be tier 1, title player. My biggest thing is I feel bad for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is going to retire with no rings. People are going to say he can't succeed in the playoffs. And the truth of the matter is he was with Donovan Mitchell too early, and he's going to be with Anthony Edwards too early. You give him, if the Jazz team from a few years ago was just together now, and then if it was just Donovan and Gobert and then a squad built around them, they could win the title. But
Do you think Donovan got a lot better?
I think Donovan Mitchell got
so much better.
From when he left the Jazz to now.
Like I said, I think Donovan Mitchell's arguably the 6th best player in basketball. So yes,
What do you think he got better at?
I think he's a top 10 passer.
Playmaker.
I think he's a top 10 passer.
His playmaking.
He's by far the best passer on his team. He's actually so much better as a passer than Darius Garland. And it's like, whoa. I think we'll talk about the Cavs in like a minute or two.
That's what I'm.
Right before we do that, I think we're just gonna take a quick break and then we'll just cycle back in and get it going.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, quick break for us. All right, welcome back into the 4 and 5 podcast. We are going to jump over to another team. Dan, kick it off. Where are we going to next?
We are going all the way out to LA with the Clippers. I'm going.
Third. Oh, wow. Okay. Go for it.
Hear me out. Tier 1. I don't even have to
John, you're next. Let's go. Go quick. You gotta announce the tiers quickly.
I'm gonna go tier 1.
Tier 3.
Tier
Wow.
two.
Wow.
I love this. Why we gotta start.
Wow.
Tell us why it's tier. Tell us why they're tier 3.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yes,
come
please.
on.
All right. By the way, y'all, I'm sipping on apple juice. All right.
Okay, man of class. It's okay.
It's that
I'm in a
drink.
class. I don't do this alcohol stuff. Business. Oh yeah, easy tier 3 for me. I think they'll finish as the 4th or 5th seed in the West. Similar to where they finished last year. And did they beat the Suns last year? I don't remember.
No,
Yeah.
they lost because Paul
They
George
lost
and Kawhi were
4-1.
out.
Kawhi got injured. 4-1.
I do not see the Clippers going anywhere. First of all, I honestly don't think this needs too much of an explanation because we do this. I'm not even going to say that word, but we do this poop every single year. They get a new guy every year, and every time people say, "Yep, this time's different. This time is different. We're going to do this. We're
It's
going to
actually
do
different
this."
this time, though. It's actually different this time.
That's all I've been
How is
hearing.
it different this time? I actually
Let
know.
me-
We
hold
want
on.
to say the go. Make your case. Go. Keep going. Go.
They are nowhere near a top 10 defense.
Right now they are. Right now they're a top 10.
They're literally top 5. They're number 4.
They're
They're number
4
4
right now?
defense right now. Yeah.
They're 4.
That's crazy. With Zubats at their big,
I know.
that's ridiculous.
They make it
I
work, though.
apologize for misspeaking. But when it comes playoff time, I know the capabilities of Paul George, of Kawhi Leonard, and of James Harden. And I know they're beyond capable players. Those 3 especially. Shout out Russ too on the side. But here's the thing. I think Kawhi is their best player. I think their second best player is James Harden. And I think their third best player is Paul George. Okay? Am I saying you can't win a chip with Paul George as your third best option? No, I am not. I think you can win a chip easy if Paul George is your third option. 2 years ago. Paul George now, unfortunately, is not the defender he was. And when it comes playoff time, they don't have a certified wing stopper. They don't have a certified guard stopper, in my opinion. Kawhi Leonard is still a solid defender, don't get me wrong. But that's just my opinion. And I'm going to rely on Clippers to mess up in the playoffs. It's just something I can count on every year. You know, like I say, the only things that are, what's the word I'm looking for? The only things that are
certain in life.
The only things that are certain in life are death taxes, and the Clippers messing up in the playoffs.
Wow.
So, tier 3 team, very easy for me. Go ahead. Who's next, Dan?
Can I go next? Yeah. I think the Clippers are by far tier 1, where it's like they're top 3 in offensive rating this season, and they're top 5 in they're the 3rd best offensive team and the 4th best defensive team in the NBA. With James Harden, this team has added a level of playmaking that they have been looking for the last 5 years, right? Their defense isn't like big centric, where it's like we're gonna force him down the middle and Zubac is gonna block. They're rotating. The timing is great. The way they play defense is like boom, he's here, he's there, he's there. Their rotations are always on point, and Ty Lue knows how to adjust mid game. Always give him credit for that. I think Ty Lue's a fantastic coach, and I think what he came in after. Well, also it's not easy. It's not hard to look great after Doc Rivers, but he still did his thing. He still did his thing, right? Not only that, bro, the Clippers are. First off, when you said they have no guard and wing stoppers, I want to say I probably watched the most Clippers minutes on this podcast. Paul George and Kawhi are still that defensively. They're probably not in their prime, but they can still go and guard the other team's best player. They can, right? And I think this new dimension with Russell Westbrook and how they're utilizing him is great. Also, I know this is just a small thing. People talk about Russell Westbrook being a bad three-point shooter. Russell Westbrook is a career 40% three-point shooter from the corner. And I know that's just a small thing, but
from one spot, in Russell Westbrook's entire career, he shoots well.
Not one spot. 3-point line for sure.
Yeah, on one spot of the 3-point line for his whole career.
Really well from that spot. Yeah,
Really
I'm just saying, like you can utilize that how you will. I think, and when James Harden came in, rough start. I can admit that. But when he said, you know how that one graphic when we figure it out, this is gonna be scary. It's scary right now. The only team I think right now that would genuinely give them problems is the Nuggets because there's no way they can stop Jokic. There's no like.
I think there's a lot of teams that give them problems. I
think there's no other team in the West is giving them
there's
problems.
literally. Honestly, I think the Timberwolves would give them problems.
They would mess up the Wolves. They would. You know why they mess up the Wolves? Because they would stretch Rudy Gobert out. Pause. They would stretch Rudy Gobert out. They would run a lineup of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi, and and Norman Powell, and they would have Russell Westbrook play that 5-man, and they would stretch him out so hard.
That's fine. And okay, I think the Lakers.
Russell Westbrook is shooting 28% on catch and shoot threes this year, so feel free to stretch Rudy Gobert out with that. I disagree.
Go ahead.
I agree with your overall point, but that's a trash lineup to run.
Okay, sorry. I'm not Ty Lue. Ty Lue will figure it out. I trust Ty Lue more than 85%.
I honestly think that if the Warriors make it out of the play-in and they play the Clippers, let's say the Clippers end up with the top seed, I can see the Warriors winning that series.
They dog the Warriors. The Warriors don't get a game.
I can see it too.
The Warriors don't get a game.
John can see it, obviously.
The Warriors don't get a game, guys.
All right, who's next?
I am actively disputing any type of Clippers are going far this season in the postseason. You can, if I'm wrong, I will take it like a champ, and I will say that I'm wrong. And if they make it to the conference finals, or they make it to the finals, even whether they win or not, I want
to say
mess up.
They went to the conference finals 2 years without Kawhi. 2 years ago without Kawhi. They have done it before, and that was when their best player was out.
All right, who's next? Is it you, John? Go.
John.
Oh, now I think they got a new best player in James Harden. I think he's the best player on that team. I think he's 1A, Kawhi's 1B, and he runs the offense.
I can see that for sure, but I still have Kawhi. But I definitely you're spitting.
I'm still a
Go
Kawhi
ahead.
guy, but yeah, I'm
a Kawhi guy as well. But I'm not mad at your take.
I'm kind of mad at that take, but go ahead.
I think he runs the.
Right, your guy is number 3. Okay, he's not even.
I don't know. I can.
Number 2 or number 1. It's actually. I'll say. Pause real quick. Hold up. Victor Wembanyama is a better basketball player than Paul George right now, and it's a crime that Paul George was an All-Star. It's a crime.
I can't believe Paul George is an All-Star this season.
It's a crime. Not even close to an All-Star level season.
Not even close. First off, not even close to an All-Star level.
Not even close. No. Okay, fine. Is he remotely as good as Lauri Markkanen?
Remotely, I think he's better than Lauri.
Lauri's literally better at everything on offense.
He's better at basketball. He's just a straight up better basketball. All right, whatever. I don't want to digress in this.
He's a better finisher.
John, continue.
He's a better passer.
Hold on.
Let's mute up.
This is not Lauri versus Paul George. Paul George will win.
Go.
It's the Nuggets and Clippers. I'm not going to go in depth about the Nuggets, but it's the Nuggets and Clippers on the top of the West who I think are going to make it out. I think the Clippers, they just have, like Dan said about their playmaking, a new aspect in like that they've been looking for a while. I think like they really do pass the eye test when you watch them play. They look active on defense, and on offense, like they look locked in. I think this is the year James Harden's not going to choke.
I'm saying we are not an eye test podcast. The reason we're here is to look past the eye test.
I know, obviously.
The eye test is just as important, though. I think the eye test is very important.
That's ridiculous. The eye test is important to get. Like, if I was trying out for a team, I would want to look good. And then if I met with the coaches, then they realize that I'm a dummy. I would rather have that happen rather than I look trash, but I'm the smartest player on the court. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think so. You don't think eye test is important at all?
Oh, I would. Wait, that's such a bad analogy.
Wait, hold on. I think I think we have different definitions of eye test. My brother's using eye test as like, how do you look on the eye, and we're using eye test as like, we're watching the film and we're like, based on the film, we think this. You agree that watching the games matters, right?
Yeah, we're trying to say you can't just look at stats and be like, oh, this team is good at that.
That's what I'm saying.
You think you can just look at stats and say a team's good?
I was saying, I was agreeing with my brother what he said, For me,
Oh.
I thought you guys were talking about eye test is like, oh, you're just looking.
Aesthetics, bag-wise.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
No,
no,
no, no,
That's
no,
what I
no, no.
thought too.
Like
Yeah,
you need
I
to
figured
watch
that's
the
where
game
the
to fully
confusion.
understand what's going on.
100%.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
why the
We're all
Clippers
in
are the
agreement
best
there.
defense in the NBA.
Let
And
Gian
oh
finish
my
his
goodness,
point.
Jalen Green just got a triple double, but they
Oh wow.
lost. Sorry,
Oh wow.
John, go ahead.
The man will be
But-
traded this offseason. Go for it,
but
dude.
I think James Harden will not choke the playoffs this year. I think that Kawhi will be healthy, fingers crossed. I think that everybody will be ready for the postseason. I think I would say I can confidently say I have them coming out the West. So yeah.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
All right,
I
cool.
think it's a
So
shame
they
for you to
are.
have to cross your fingers to hope your best player has.
I
gets-
think they are second to bottom in my tier 2. They're the 4th best team in my tier 2, which makes them, I think, the 7th best team based on my estimation, which is fine. Like, I think, yeah, they're a good team. No problems with that. They're closer to tier 3 than they are to tier 1 for me. I don't understand how you can be so confident in this. Who is their point of attack defender?
Kawhi.
Who's their wing stopper?
Paul George.
Why? Like, wait, you can't have guy. Okay, well, I'll say this: if Kawhi Leonard is guarding Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray's averaging 35. I'll put money on it.
Go
I'll
ahead.
put money.
We can
Jamal
put money
Murray
on it.
mixes Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is not a
Oh
good
my
screen navigator at
gosh.
this point in his career.
I would love that series so much.
Oh, I think it'd be Nuggets in 5. Nuggets. I don't know if the Clippers can win 2
Clippers.
games
Clippers in
against the
7.
Nuggets specifically, guys.
No,
When's the last
no.
time Ivica
Nuggets-
Zubac had a
Nuggets
good
in
game?
6.
No, stop. When's the last time Ivica Zubac had a good game against Nikola Jokic? Has it ever in their lives? Has he ever once been up to the test of Nikola? No. Like, it's a horrible matchup for them. It was a horrible matchup for them. 4 years ago, they got older and slower as a starting unit. Please, I as a Nuggets guy, give me the series. I'm saying I think they would blow out the Wolves. I think they would crush OKC. I think they would beat a lot of teams. But my point is this: there are 2 teams they can't beat in the West. The Nuggets are one of them. We'll get to another team in just a little bit. And I think that the Mavs would be an interesting series. I talked about this on Twitter today. The only concern I have with them is that PJ Washington and Maxi Kleber would probably get abused by Kawhi Leonard. But wouldn't Luka abuse Harden a little more? Like,
Luka.
here's the
Harden's
thing.
not
Here's the
guarding
thing.
Luka.
This is the best James Harden's ever looked defensively in the regular season. This is the best Kawhi's looked defensively since at least 2018. And I think I give a lot of credit to James Harden for that. Like, him taking the playmaking burden off of Kawhi means that Kawhi has a little more energy for the defensive end. Yada, yada, yada. He's locked in. Whatever. My thing with this is, again, only drop. Like, that is all Ivica Zubac can do as a big. Do not come at me with, he's actually pretty solid at switching it at you. No, he's not. I've seen the man. He's tubby. He does not have quick feet. He does not have good hands. I keep hearing this narrative every year since he was traded from the Lakers. People like Tim Legler and Mark Jones and Dorsberg sit up there on that national media stage and they say, if he goes, one of the most underrated players in basketball, oh my, he has such good hands, he's such a good finisher, he has a great touch around the rim, he's a good screener, he's a good defender, he can do everything on both ends. Well, then why isn't he? What you described right there is an all-star level basketball player. You're describing Jared Allen, all right? He's not Jared Allen. He's not even half of Jared Allen, right? My thing is, Ivica Zubac is the fundamental flaw in this team. Here's what's going to happen. At point of attack defense, you're going to have Norman Powell or James Harden. Swiss cheese, I tell you. If they play the OKC Thunder, they will lose. The only reason they have a shot in that series is that OKC has 0 human beings, and I mean 0 human beings on the roster that they could put on Kawhi effectively. Like, Lou Dort is too small functionally.
Jalen Williams.
Unless you trust SGA in that situation, I don't. Like,
Jalen.
I don't understand OKC. Like, we'll get to them in like 2 minutes, I guess, but I just don't understand their play. This, like, why didn't you at least try to get a 4? Like, Gordon Hayward was your big move. Like, dog, you could have gotten PJ Washington. I mean, not that it would have helped, but
PJ
like,
Washington would have been nice on that team.
just chase. Like, give me some size. Like, I think Chet's gonna get abused by Jokic
Zubac?
this postseason. Like, it's gonna be horrible if he plays AD or Jokic. Jesus, man, all my narratives about Wemby are just going out through the roof. Like, I don't even need to do anything. Chet's gonna get sauced.
Look at my chops if he plays the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, that's not
Licking
the
my
thing. But what my
chops.
point is, like, there are flaws with the Clippers team, and you guys are choosing to overlook them because you want them to be a tier 1 team because you like James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I'm telling you, and you guys are rooting for Russ Westbrook. Like, that's the truth. You're choosing to overlook the flaws. You're not being genuine and honest about the point of attack defense. You're not being genuine and honest about the rim protection. Those, to me, are critical facets of a title team.
I think
That's
they're
right.
They're
point,
lacking
they
that. I think they're a
have
very
they
good
And
have
if
the point of
if you
attack
if
defensively.
you are lacking that, there's no way you can win a chip. That's why they're tier two.
I think you can, but you would need James
You would
Harden to
need
play
a
like
world-class offense.
I know, but they might be a world class. Like
They don't
the moment the
do
trade happened,
things
I
like that.
said this is going to be the best offense in the league. They're going to struggle defensively. They have not struggled defensively so far. I can bet my bottom dollar they will in the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. Tier 2 for me, 7th best team in the league. Let's rock up. Who's next, Dan? OKC? I think it's OKC.
Hold on.
Or is
It is the
Denver.
Cavs. or Denver. Sorry, Denver. We talked about the Cavs.
Oh, easy.
Did we talk? We already talked about the Cavs, right?
No,
No.
we haven't.
Oh,
All
then
right.
it's the Cavs. Sorry, it's the Cavs.
Oh, the Cavs. All right.
Go ahead, Dan.
Can you come back to me? No, tier two.
Okay.
Tier
Go,
two.
John.
I think that I'm gonna go tier one.
Tier
Because
1. It's tier
not
1.
crazy.
It's the best team in
That's
the
not
East.
crazy.
Tier 1.
I was
No, not
I'm
the
just
best
gonna
team
say
in the
like the only reason I would say tier one instead of tier two is I think they're better than the Knicks, and I have the Knicks in tier two, and I think they're a class above the Knicks, which is why I have to
Yeah.
put them at tier
See,
one.
I have the Knicks in. Oh, actually, let me not say what I have the Knicks at.
Sorry for the spoiler, guys. My fault. My
Yeah.
fault. I didn't mean to-
I just,
Okay,
I
let's
think,
let's bounce around
Okay.
because I don't know if you guys have too much to say on the Cavs. So let's get
no,
going.
I just think once Darius Garland gets his offense back together, because he's been kind of starting off a little slow coming back to the century. I think once he gets that back together, they've invested in better wings and shooters this season.
Georges Niang.
Who else did they get? Was it Max Strus?
Yeah, but I mean, Dean Wade's a very good defender. Like
Wade's
they're
better.
lacking in size at the forward position. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, Evan Mobley
Yeah,
and Jared
Contenders.
Allen barely play any minutes together. I think you're gonna have to choose one, and you're obviously gonna choose Mobley. So you're gonna have to. Whoa, you don't think so?
I think Jared Allen's a 2-time All-Star, and you have no evidence that Evan Mobley's gonna be an All-Star name points. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just like let's get to who wants to go?
They play only a couple minutes together. I think that if the ice breaks correctly, then they can make the finals. But we don't know. I'm not 100% confident in them winning.
I do not see it one bit. I don't see the finals. Like I don't see them like coming out the East at all. I just
So
think
then they should be tier three for you.
low key. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm putting them tier three. I'll put them tier three. Yeah, I don't trust. I really don't like have that like faith in Donovan Mitchell to be that guy. As it sounds so bad. It sounds so bad, but I really don't have like faith in like Donovan Mitchell like come out and like put like like be that number one. Darius Garland, he's a good player, but I don't see them competing with a lot of. I just see a lot of ones. Like I would trust. This is gonna sound so bad, but I would trust Jalen Brunson over Donovan Mitchell in like hard in like those like difficult scenarios. But and it's not even about just like Donovan Mitchell, but yeah, the Cavs. I just don't see. I don't see the potential. Of them like just getting to the championship.
I'll say they're my tier one. I also had Boston in tier one. Um, I think they look great. Donovan Mitchell. I don't think their make or break guy is Darius Garland. Honestly, I think we know he's a terrible defender. And what? He's not a terrible defender. You wanna correct me?
Jalen, who did you say? Darius Garland?
No, my brother made a face, so I was just wondering if he
No,
disagreed.
what was the thing you said before the defending part?
Yeah, Darius Garland. I was just saying, but you're on mute, by the way.
No, I know. I don't want to interrupt you. I'll clarify what I meant in a little bit. Like I don't disagree.
Oh, sorry, my
Going.
fault.
I would just like oh okay.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think Darius Garland is their make or break piece. I think their make or break piece will be their best player, and that is Donovan Mitchell. And another part of that is their bigs. Man, I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about Evan Mobley to say whether or not he's been playing well. So, but yeah, man, I thought he was gonna be a decent I thought he was gonna be better on offense,
Um,
and he
sorry,
just
go ahead.
he hasn't been. That's the biggest worry for me is Evan Mobley. But yeah, man, I think this team looks phenomenal. They've got fantastic shooters. Um, they've got a top 5 shooter in the NBA with Donovan Mitchell, and they've got other fantastic shooters on their bench and on their start in
Sam
their
Merrill
starting
is a
lineup.
sniper. Sam Merrill, Max Strus, and Donovan Mitchell are probably the best shooting trio in the NBA. Straight up.
So,
And that's not even including Darius Garland. It's wild.
well, I do believe in them. But yeah, that's my piece on them.
All right, I'm going to try and go as fast as humanly possible because I have so much to say about the Cavs, and I haven't been
Yeah.
able to say it on the pod at all, but I'm going to go as fast as possible. All right. Donovan Mitchell is the sixth best player, sixth or seventh best player in the NBA. He is the best offensive player in the East, and especially in the playoffs, that will come proven. Okay, next.
Wait, hold on. You glitched out. What'd you say?
I said that Donovan Mitchell is the best offensive player in the East,
Mm-hmm.
and it will come especially true in the playoffs.
No.
My point with the Cavs is this. It is about staggering lineups. And by the way, you think they play 16 minutes together a night. Mobley and Allen. 16.
I said 21, right?
No, you said a couple. You said a few. You said they play very
My
few.
fault. I would
16 is
just
a big number. Like 16
I
is
would
like,
just. Sorry, go ahead.
like if
My
you look
fault.
at duos in the NBA, give me one second. I'm gonna pull up that stat. If we look at
I'm so excited to get to some of these
all
teams, by the way.
teams,
There's 2 teams that I'm super excited to get to.
MPG, like the duo that has the most minutes per game together is Randall and Brunson at 31. And then
Yeah.
you get pretty quickly to like low 20s. Like 16 is not a nominal number, but I agree they're best when you segment Garland and Mobley and have them run their own units and Mitchell and Allen run their own units.
Mhm.
Biggest question with this team, can you rely on one of Mitchell or Garland to be good defensively, or do you take one of them off the court in clutch situations? It would obviously be Garland. So it'd be
Yeah.
like Mitchell, Okoro, Strus, Allen, Mobley, like Mobley, Allen, and that lineup I think would cook. Or you just put Dean Wade in instead of instead of Strus, and now you have a Tatum coverage. So I think this team is the best team in the East. I have them as the second best team in the NBA. They have nominal weaknesses. The biggest weakness would probably be that they're a little light in the forward spot against some big men. Like it's just a little tough to guard some of those big, strong guys. I
Mhm.
love this team, man. I think they've won 16 of 17 games since the new year. Like I'm baffled that you guys are doubting them. Sorry, this is a very negative section. I'm stunned. I think they're a better team than the Celtics. I think I actually am getting close to putting the Celtics as the third best team in the East. Now we'll talk about another one of the teams in a second that I'm very interested in. That's all I got to say with the Cavs. Shout out Donovan Mitchell, been one of the best players in the NBA. Cavs fans, get it together. You need to bump up his rep. I've heard he was in Jalen Brunson conversations and Devin Booker. He cleared those folks 2 years ago in Utah. Since he's come to the Cavs, people are putting SGA out on his name. Brother, clears. Anyway, we can move on.
Clears
Next-
S. Okay, yeah.
Clears.
Hold on, John, go.
I just find it crazy. Clears SGA is ridiculous. I think SGA is better. I think Mitchell's better than Devin Booker, but he doesn't clear. That's crazy.
I think he clears both of them. I think he's by far and away the best shooting guard in the NBA. I think he is very clearly the best offense player in the East. I think he's very clearly, at worst, the third best player in the East. At worst, and he's a top 7 player in the league. Or actually, at worst, he's the 4th best player in the East. So 7th best player.
I think he's third.
Let's get into what team's next record wise. Is it the Nuggets?
Oh, it is the Nuggets.
All right, tier 1.
Dan.
Tier 1, and they're tier 1.
Tier 1.
They're the best team in the NBA. They just won a championship.
Tier
I
1.
feel like I don't
John?
have a lot to say.
None.
Tier 1.
Yeah, okay. I mean, really quickly, just run down on the weaknesses. The bench isn't that great. Peyton Watson's a very good basketball player. Christian Brown, pretty good, solid. Reggie Jackson in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson in the playoffs. DeAndre Jordan in the playoffs. In Big 2024, a little iffy on both those guys. Other than that, like, what else is there to say on these guys? Like,
Nikola Jokic.
this is a bigger gap from number 1 to number 2 best player in the NBA than peak LeBron. I think 2013 LeBron had a smaller gap between him and the second best player in the NBA than Nikola Jokic does. I think this is where we get to like there are only maybe 5 guys ever that have had this big of a gap between him and number 2. That's how good he is. That's how generational he is. And like, he had one of the worst games of the year against the Lakers, and I don't know, he was great. Like he just is. He's the guy.
I am sorry. Sorry, you done? Or I was just gonna say, I hate the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I despise the Nuggets. I
I love the
despise
Nuggets.
Jamal Murray, and
You too,
not
Mike Malone. You keep your
not
safe
not
on.
not actually like I don't hate them as people or even players. I just hate that they always decide to play against the Lakers
I
like
know.
they're the greatest team of all
Crazy.
time. Jamal Murray especially. Yeah, man, it's easy for me. Tier 1, they're my third tier 1 team. I only have one more spot left, and I know where it's going.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like they were ranked 3rd in tier 1. I had
No,
them as,
no,
like,
they're
the
ranked
number 1
first in
team.
tier
Yeah, I
1.
had them as like the number 1 team in the A. Clearly.
Yeah. They're phenomenal. They have the best player in the world. They have a fantastic supporting cast. And the craziest part is that KCP's not even playing right now, and they're still
I think that
messing.
wraps up this section. I don't really think we have any more to say. I want to throw a really quick, interesting stat out there. Okay, you guys remember familiar with the B-ball index metric LeBron, right? So they have something
Mhm.
called O LeBron and D LeBron. O LeBron is obviously their offensive impact metric. Okay, they have also something playoffs O LeBron, so it's only taking into account playoffs. Okay, Jamal Murray's O LeBron is comparable to a top 10 offensive player from the NBA last year. Can I tell you what the craziest part of that is?
Mm.
That's without last year. So that's
Oh, wow.
2019 and 2020. He was a top 10 offensive player in the playoffs. So you
Yeah.
factor in last year, I think you can have a solid argument that Jamal Murray is a top 10 offensive player in the playoffs. You
Real.
put them up against series in the Wolves, I think that's their biggest weakness, but you put a case out there that they have the 2 best offensive players in the series, I easily they would. I think that's enough to get them by. Like
Real
the
quick.
Wolves seem to me to be their biggest weakness, and I think they could probably beat them.
Yeah, my fault. Real quick, side note: the 76ers just signed Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. I saw that.
But
Booty man in Philly. I can deal with it. Do you want to let me know who the next team is, and we can decide whether we need a break or just go?
OKC,
Your guys' call. Do we want to break or do we want to run it for a couple?
We can
because
get
mine is quick for OKC.
yeah, I have
Uh,
a OKC as well.
I think mine's pretty quick too.
Everybody.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Tier 2.
Yes. Shows you said tier 2?
Yeah.
Dan tier 2?
Ah.
Tier 2.
I'm a tier
Kyle?
3 for them. I'm tier 3.
That's
Yeah.
honestly, that's not ridiculous to say.
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
think that what's it called? I kind of view them in the same light I view Minnesota, just not as great defensively, but better offensively. And because Minnesota just sucks offensively. But
I don't
just
know
think
what
that
it's like they would get kind of murdered by every team in the West right now. Like in a playoff series, like it's just like if you had LeBron against them or Kawhi against them or like you know what I mean? Like all these big wings, who's guarding them?
they're so tough. I think it's their tier 2 or tier 3 for me.
And also, like, is
they're
Josh
tier
Giddey gonna play? If Josh Giddey plays, then they're out in round 1. You know, you have to get him off the court, and they're just too young for me. Like, they're a really fun team. Like I said, I projected them to be the 2 seed in the West going into the year. That was a big hit for me.
They're like the Kings last year for me. I think it's a joy run.
I
They're
think.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think they're better than the Kings last year. But
I understand they're better than the Kings, but this year's crop of teams is better than last year's. So,
Yeah, fair.
You're
Okay,
in-
fair.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna spend much time on them. Like, I respect
Okay.
them. Props to SGA. Props to J Dub. J Dub, one of my favorite basketball players in the National Basketball Association. Shout out J Dub.
Twin,
Too young.
Jalen with the Y.
where have you been?
John, want to talk about him real quick, and then we can.
Do you have any thoughts?
I don't see them. I see them like kind of like dancing about Minnesota. It's like they're more of a projection for the future rather than winning this season type of team. I do see them like a lot of potential for the future, but I feel like they have a lot more pieces, not pieces, but have a lot more things to figure out before they can actually contend. So
Definitely. I think we're all on the same page there. All right. Who's the next team? And then we'll head into a break before we cover them.
Next team is Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. All right, cool. I mean, that's gonna be a fun one to come out of the break.
that's kind of I feel like
I'm
that's
gonna
easy.
I'm gonna shoot y'all a thing like in 2 seconds, so we'll be right
Okay.
back. It's not
No,
even-
Got it.
Welcome back. Thank you for letting us get a second break in. We appreciate y'all sticking around. I mean, I know
Shout
it's
out my dog. Shout out my dog.
so we're heading into Milwaukee to discuss The Bucks. All right. Let's go, John. Give me your quick. I'm going to go John, Dan, you, me. Call it. All you have to say is tier and then what? Go.
Tier 2.
Tier 3.
Tier
Tier 3. Not even close to tier 2. Not even close. This is such a fraudulent basketball. I know I'm going last usually, but I'm calling it right now. Patrick Beverley, good pickup. I've heard they're going to stick with Malik Beasley as the starter. It's over. It's over. Glenn Rivers coaching the team. He's not Doc. He's Glenn. Doc is for people I respect. Glenn Rivers. It's Malik Beasley and Damian Lillard as your backcourt. Are you being serious? I will never understand. I don't like Damian Lillard all that much. I think he's an overrated basketball player. I'll say this. For the first 6-7 years of his career, guess who his backcourt mate was? CJ the Cone McCollum. You know what the CJ stands for? It's Cone Jr. He's not big enough to play defense in the national basketball. Like, what are we? Did they think Dame
big
was
enough.
a good
He's
defender?
6'4". He's 6'4". That's capable.
Here's the thing. Did they think Dame was a good defender? Because
No.
the only way I can process this is they thought, oh, Dame's an elite defender. We can put him next to CJ McCollum. And then when he's gone, we can put him next to Anthony Simons. And then when he leaves, he can be next to Malik Beasley. Like, god damn, get this man some help on defense. If you're going to have that bad a point of attack defense, you know what you have to do? You have to be a switchy team. You have to be long. You have to be rangy. No. Let's play drop with Brook Lopez again. And then as soon as they tried to institute a hedge with Adrian Griffin, Brook Lopez threw a tantrum, and Brook Lopez is a guy I like, but he threw a tantrum and got the coach fired. It was Brook Lopez who got it done. So it's a disaster. I feel horrible for Milwaukee people, but that's what you get when you choose Chris Middleton over, I don't know, pursuing a better player. This is a horribly constructed roster. They are a first-round exit guaranteed to me. Some very fortunate team, probably the Heat, is going to get to the second round because of this. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley in the playoffs as a guard duo. The only hope they have is that Patrick Beverley can play 48 minutes a night and be their only point of attack defender. Just like every guard in the East is going to cook them. Jalen Brunson might average 40 against them. 40.
I was
45.
on everything. I was gonna say if they play the Heat, when Bam Adebayo sets that screen and he's playing drop, Tyler Hero might put up 50 he might average 50 against the Bucks.
It's anyway. Anyone else have thoughts? Like, go for it.
By
the way, I respect Giannis. Giannis, good basketball player. Shout out. Not a good defender anymore. Like top 20 defender in the NBA now, but not even close to where he used to be.
Top
But
20
very
is
good
still
at
good.
offense and gets to the rim and finishes 72% of the rim. Really cool. But that's all. Like,
I would say they.
He's not no Anthony Davis.
he's not.
You
no
know,
Anthony Davis.
It's so tough. It's so tough because I don't believe in them. But the reason they're at tier 2 is because of Giannis and Dame. And do I think Damian Lillard is an all-star starter? Hell no. But
Dang, I forgot about that. That's crazy. That's really
but
crazy.
I will say, guys, Damian Lillard in the playoffs, Giannis Antetokounmpo in the playoffs. We haven't seen it yet, and I think that mystery is making me put them at tier 2 rather than tier 3. Depending on who they play, they could squeeze out a series. I think they could squeeze out a series. But they're old. They're old, man.
Really old.
Old.
I think
team.
they're the oldest team in the NBA.
And as much as we're saying you need experience, you don't need that much.
And they also are not good defense. Like, how can you be old and a horrible
You don't-
defense?
you
You
don't
know,
need that.
most of the time when you think about it, it's like, oh, young team, they're offensively talented, but they have no defense. No, they're old and they're a god awful defense.
And you need to have guys on the team who are gonna have a spring in their step and excited to get on the floor. You know, like guys who can get you started.
Marjin Beauchamp.
And
They cut his minutes hard.
even playing him, right? And they cut what?
They cut Marjin Beauchamp. His minutes, they cut it hard.
Yeah, that's
Wait, you guys know the rule, right? On a Doc Rivers roster, you have to be 24 years old to get 5 minutes. You have to be 24 years old. It's a legit rule he had. Like, it's a legitimate thing where unless you're 24 years old, he doesn't play you at all ever.
Are you serious?
You have to.
Go through his history. He never played. The only youngish guy he ever played was Rajon Rondo.
Embiid.
Rondo was an all-star at that time.
But
So
Embiid was still young when Doc was there. No.
Embiid was 25 at that time. Like, he was
The last couple of
29
games
right now.
with
He's got
Doc,
4 years.
he has not gone over 10 minutes.
But yeah, let me
Not
just
gone over 10 minutes. It's sad.
my thing is, yeah, I think they'll squeeze it out just because of the mystery that surrounds Dame and Giannis in the playoffs. I know I'm using the big names, but I think maybe. But dang, dude, they're so close to tier 3. It's unbelievable. John.
Yeah, I really don't have that much to say besides kind of like just Dame and Giannis. It kind of like Dame and Giannis. It kind of hurts like to put them at tier 3, if that makes sense. I think
you said tier 2.
no, I said tier 2. That's why I can't put them
Oh.
at tier 3. But I think they're a top 3 team in the East. I think I definitely see them winning one. I can see them winning 2 series.
Of course, why are they better than the Cavs? Like, just take 60 seconds to tell us why they're better than the Cavs.
I just think it's really the dominance of Giannis plays a big factor, and I think they're not like.
Do you not think Donovan Mitchell's been dominant this year? Like, he's
I think
averaging
that
29, 7, and 6
the best team
on
in
60% true shooting. He's averaging a steal a game. He's 17-1 in the last month and a half. Like, what does he need to do?
Are they?
Does he need to go undefeated for you to
Whoa,
respect
whoa,
him?
Are they even a top 5 team in the East? Let me think.
I
For
don't
me.
think they are. I think that's why they're tier 3 for me.
You have Boston, Cleveland, Philly, Miami,
I don't have Philly.
and New York.
New York is ahead of Philly for me. Far ahead. But anyway, Dan, any closing thoughts on this squad?
No, you all took everything out of my mouth.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. That's on me.
Anyway,
That's
Dan,
2 pauses in 1 episode, so I'm done.
Let's hit the next squad.
One more and it's bad luck. My fault.
New York, the Knicks,
the Knicks.
tier
Go
3.
ahead.
2, 3. I know.
Dude, wait, dog, how do you have so many teams in tier 2? Like,
No, I was about to say, can I make a change?
yeah, but like, do you have them written down? Like, do you know how many teams you have in
No,
tier 2?
I don't. I
I
don't
think
have a
you've
lot.
listed every team so far in tier 2.
No,
You
real
had
quick.
only 2 teams in tier 1. I think you've gotten like 6 guys in tier 2. So after this, it's all tier 3 for
I have
you?
Clippers. I have Clippers, Nuggets, and Celtics. Tier 3. I mean tier 1.
Okay, tier 1. And then what's your tier 2?
Okay, I'm switching out Milwaukee for New York. So
Milwaukee's back to tier 3.
Yeah, New York is my tier 2.
Okay, cool.
I think I have the Wolves. I have OKC. I have the Knicks now. I think that's it for my tier 2.
Okay, cool. So Dan, where do you have this team?
Tier 3. I think they're barely better than the Bucks, by the way. But I think they're barely better than the Bucks. I think it's because they're so. Oh no, let me not clog it up. Everybody else go.
Yeah, just get the tiers out.
I'll say tier
3.
2. I'm gonna replace the Bucks, put them at tier 3, and put them. But it's not because I have a full tier 2. I just remembered that. Actually, no, I'll leave the Bucks in for now. Tier 2, Knicks, Bucks. Keep them in there.
I have the Knicks at the top of tier 2. So I think they're better.
Top of tier 2?
I think they're better than the Celtics. I think they're as good as the Celtics or better.
Wow.
I was not a Knicks believer. I promise you. But dude, how are they winning? Like, they're just okay. For one thing.
Oh, hold on, pause. Julius Randle and Ojananobi are both hurt.
Okay, so yeah, actually, let me clarify something. I think the Celtics are better, but they're neck and neck. So it's like they're either the second best team in tier 2 or like they're top 2 or 3. Like they're between 1, 2, and 3 in my tier 2. Like they're real close. It's all razor thin. Can I go or does someone else want to talk on the Knicks?
Can I do it?
Oh yeah,
you go first.
No, I was gonna say
you.
I don't want to go first.
Okay. I think the Knicks are good. I think my thing about the Knicks is they don't have a lot of ball stoppers on their team. I mean, Julius Randle is the only ball stopper on their team. Everybody else will swing that ball. And with their new acquisitions in the trade deadline, if Alec Burks gives you 11 to 15 points a night, you're on the Knicks coming off the bench, you look great. And then what they got? Oh, I always forget what Boyan or Bogdan. Bogdan. Which
it was
one?
Boyan. Tough, man.
They got Boyan. First off, they stole Boyan from the Pistons. Because I remember last season, it was 2 first-round picks. Crazy. But I think with the new acquisitions, I think I think they're at the very top of tier 3 for me. Because honestly, I think in a 7 games, I think this is. I think the Bucks are still like. I think in a 7 game series they beat the Bucks. Maybe I think it goes 7 though. But I think it's 7 in a coin toss.
I would
But then
say
I think they lose. I think they lose
Go
to the
ahead.
Cavs. I think they lose to the Celtics, and I think they lose if Joel Embiid is back. I think they lose to Philly, which is
Okay,
why I
John,
can't put them in tier 2.
John, thoughts? Go for it.
Can I think I'm gonna move them down to my tier 3 actually. But like the Knicks top of my tier 3, and I think I'm gonna move the Cavs up to tier 2. So
You had Cavs in tier 3?
Yeah, I had them in tier 3, but I'm moving up to tier 2.
Wow.
I will say the Knicks are at the top of my tier 2. I can see them squeezing out a series. They are ahead of the what's it called? The Bucks. But I do see the Knicks being semi-successful in the playoffs, squeezing out a round, especially with the they won this trade deadline.
They
They won
did.
the trade deadline.
They killed it.
Them
Absolutely
and the Mavs.
absolutely cooked this trade deadline. They did a great job. Man, I think that even a guy like Alec Burks is gonna be successful for the Knicks. And I know it's random, but I think the fact that Boyan and Alec are leaving Detroit, which is poverty. I'm talking like poverty basketball. That is enough to excite any man. To the point where I'm willing to work as hard as I need to do to win. I want to win, you know? They're at the top of my tier 2. I see them getting out of series, dependent on I think they would beat the Sixers, to be honest.
Without Embiid?
A healthy Sixers? A healthy Sixers?
Wow. Anyway, boy, I mean, if you want to go talk about them real quick, go for it.
So I think the Knicks are very, very good. I think they would destroy the Philly. I think they'd destroy Philly straight up. I think healthy Philly, no matter what, I think they'd beat them. I think they'd sweep the Bucks straight up. I actually don't have Philly in my contenders list this year at all. I think that Embiid's gone. Like, I just don't believe that he's going to be back at all. I'm willing to bet it that he doesn't come back and is good enough this year. And it's a shame because like I said, I thought this was their year to beat the Celtics. Jalen Brunson. I sent a voice message in the group chat, I think a month ago, and I asked everyone who's the best player on the Knicks, and I got a lot of Julius Randle answers, and I was surprised to hear that because Jalen Brunson is so by far and away. I asked, what's the gap between Brunson and Randle? I was thinking like, how much better is Brunson than Randle? And y'all went, I think Randle's better by a little bit, and I was like, wow.
Not me.
It's a group chat. It's all like codified. Like there's no
Big dog, we'll find it.
I can admit when I was wrong.
Okay, yeah. So, but here's my thing. I think Jalen Brunson's better than Tyrese Maxey. I think he's just so good. Like he's so many counters. You can't. He is okay. You know how you guys talk about Giannis being unstoppable? I actually like to make a case that Jalen Brunson's a more unstoppable basketball player than Giannis is. For the precise reason that but yeah, you could. But here's the thing: there's nothing you can do to stop him getting a shot he likes, and those shots are always 40 to 50%. Like he's a very talented basketball player. I have mad respect for him. I loved him since Villanova. I never thought he was going to be this good. Never, ever, ever in a million years would I have thought he'd be this good. I thought he was getting overpaid when he left Dallas. I mean, I'll give the most credit in the world to the Knicks. They saw Jalen Brunson. They said he's so good that we're going to just invest millions of dollars into the power of friendship, get all of his old friends back, and build a team around, friendship and spirit. I have what? Dante DiVincenzo is shooting the crap out of the ball. He's shooting better than Steph Curry over the last month and a half, 2 months. And now Steph is taking it back because he went nuclear.
He's killing it.
It's unbelievable.
I just want to say, trade for McKellen, you win a championship.
Yeah, but again, from Brooklyn, Brooklyn would never do that. It's like if the Lakers tried to get Kawhi Leonard.
You don't want the Villanova boys to be together, huh, Dan?
That'd be so cool.
I would love for the Villanova boys to be together.
That would be cool, though.
That would be so much fun.
A couple things
let's-
like OG Anunoby surprised me. Isaiah Hartenstein is a better basketball player than Ivica Zubac. The Clippers jacked up by trading him. They would have been a title team if they kept him.
I just want to say
Julius Randle is the problem on this team. Like if Julius Randle has just a below average playoffs, they're going to win 2 playoff series. But the likelihood that Julius Randle has a below average playoff season, not a disaster class, is so low that I can't even legitimately put them as tier 1 contenders.
I'm gonna just say before we move on to the. But do you want to say one more thing? My fault. Okay, I
I
was
think
just.
he's lagging.
Yeah, he's lagging really bad.
Could I say one thing then while he's lagging?
I was
If
gonna
I
say.
could have my son watch one basketball to
Oh,
be like, and I'm being so for real. One basketball player, it's Jalen Brunson. Because it's like keep it fun. Like I don't know, he keeps it fundamental and he's
It's
but he
so
doesn't
fundamental.
keeps it fundamental and he does it
Yeah,
so
like,
well.
my brother's
You see what-
I
yeah,
know
you
he's
see it,
just
right?
glitching crazy.
He's going so
And
fast right now.
I would be like, look how he plays the game. Oh, he
Yeah.
plays the game the
I
right
was
way.
just. I was
He
gonna
plays the game
say.
the right way, bro. Him and Darius Garland.
Alright,
ahead.
never mind then. Let's move on to the next team.
I rock with it.
I'm sorry.
Alright.
What were you saying?
No, go
No,
ahead.
I was just saying he's so fundamental.
I love it.
He's only 6'1", too. He's
Ah,
6'1",
man.
I know. I'm
not,
telling you.
Dan,
he's not crazy athletic.
tell us the
I'll say
next-
this is the only time that Ball Don't Stop has completely hit. That man is a clown. He does crazy stuff on Twitter. He does it for attention, for interaction, for baits, and he's not always right. But credit where credit's due. He was 100% right on Jalen Brunson. Every analytics head was wrong. Ball don't stop. Hoopers are hoopers. That's all that
Dan,
matters. Let's rock. Who's next?
Philly. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Philly should be in this discussion because I don't believe Joel Embiid is coming back.
Exactly. I'm not even.
Yeah.
I'd go tier 3, but only because tier 3 is as low as you can go.
Maxi's not good
Next.
enough.
I also,
Phoenix.
by the way,
Do you
I'll
want to
say-
speed round this?
I don't
until
think
we find-
Tyrese Max. I don't think Tyrese Maxey is good enough to be the second option yet. I think he's more suited to be. Well, I think he's good enough, but not if Tobias Harris is your third option. You know
I
what
don't think he should have made the All-Star team this year.
I agree.
That's just me.
Philly. I mean, not Philly. Phoenix.
Well, actually, I think he should have been an All-Star, but yeah, maybe not. So yeah,
Tier 3.
who's
Tier
next?
3.
Yeah, tier 3.
Phoenix.
Like it's just because
Three.
without Embiid, it's not really fun to talk about. Like, and I don't want to
No,
speculate.
let's talk about Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix.
I actually have a prediction for Phoenix. I think they're going
Phoenix
to
is
kill it
pretty
in the playoffs. I think Phoenix is going to kill it in the playoffs.
Phoenix just doesn't have the defense for me.
I could see them as a 2, maybe. But they'll be bottom of my 2.
Actually,
Bottom of my 2.
no, Phoenix. How many do I have in my 2 right now? I think I have like 2 or 3 in my 2.
I just don't have
I
space
think-
to put them in the 2, so I'll settle for tier
Me
3.
too.
But
I
I think they're better than most people want to give them credit for.
Yeah.
You know
Um,
what? I
They're
will
not
say
terrible
3.
defensively.
I will say 3 because I'm holding off the 2, my last 2 spot for somebody special.
Yeah, I have 2 spots left in my tier. Or I
Okay,
have-
wait, Dan,
I
can you
want
tell
one.
me all the teams we've been through so far, please?
Yeah, can you
Boston?
write down a list? I hope you have a list.
I'm writing down a list. That's what.
Hold on.
I'm doing a list right now.
Go ahead.
It goes Boston,
Yep.
Denver, Minnesota,
Hold on.
the Clippers.
Boston. Yes.
Where did I have Minnesota? I
Yes.
forgot what.
Boston,
Yo, does anybody
Denver,
remember Minnesota
Just-
was?
the
I mean,
Wolves,
what do you think? Where do you want
Okay.
to put them?
the Clippers, the
Okay.
Thunder, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Knicks, and then we just did the Suns.
Yeah, I have 2 total contender spots left. I've taken 6 teams. The Nuggets, Cavs, Celtics, Clippers, Knicks, Wolves are all in my tiers 1 and 2 respectively. So I have one spot left in my tier 1 and 1 spot left in my tier 2.
I have 3 teams for all. So 3 tier 1, 3 tier 2s, and 3 tier 3s.
Okay,
I have 10
fascinating.
teams total. How do you have? Oh
You
no,
have-
I don't. No, I
I have-
don't.
Yeah, no, I didn't rank my tier 3 because I'm just not.
No, I don't have 10 teams total. I wrote my last tier 1 spot already.
Yeah, I did too.
I have I'm done with tier 1. There's no more tier 1s for
You
me.
get
That's
4,
fine.
right? You get 4?
You get 8 total tier 1 and 2 spots. Divide them how you want.
I
that's
just wanted real fast, just with the Suns. I know everybody says, "Oh, the Suns' offense is really good," like which it is obviously because you have like Devin Booker and all them. But the Suns are top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense. The Suns.
I know. You said Devin Booker and all of them, and I was like, KD.
Yeah, my fault. But like they have been good. I can I can see them getting very lucky and playing. Not even very lucky. The more I talk, the more I want to move them to tier 2. But I feel like they're just probably one of the better teams in tier 3.
They're my tier 2. Anyway, Dan, what's
Next.
our next team?
Yeah, I think they're tier 3 just
the-
really quick. Tier 3, I agree.
Yeah.
Just concern is like, can you really rely on Bradley Beal in the playoffs?
No.
I don't know yet.
Well, we
He's
haven't
their
seen him in the
third
playoffs.
option.
He's had
He's their
one
third
playoff
option.
so far.
Defensively.
I think
defensively,
the fact that he's their third option.
It's good.
defensively,
problem.
can you rely on him in the playoffs? Is my question.
Sure, but that's why they have a guy like Josh Okogie.
Hey,
They don't play Josh Okogie. They play Grayson Allen.
Yeah, it's Grayson Allen.
I think honestly, if they want to win, you take out Brad Beal for Josh Okogie.
For good?
I think you put on Royce O'Neal, but all right, well, whatever. Like I think
yeah,
we're
they
gonna
have
get some
Royce.
interesting lineups, and I think they did a
Anyway.
good. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, sorry. Let's move on. I
They're
didn't
close to
wanna
the top
spend
of tier
time on
3.
them.
They're up at the top of tier 3.
They're in tier 2. They're last in tier 2 though.
Or they're second
Okay.
top in tier 3. There's another team that's better.
Dan, go ahead.
Next team up, the Mavs.
That's
That's
one of the teams I think.
tier 2.
Tier 2.
Tier 2.
Wow. Okay, I'm tier 3 on the Mavs. Interesting.
I wanted to talk about the Mavs. I'm gonna go first,
Go for it.
and I'll
Go
be
first,
quick.
please.
Unless anybody, who else wants to talk about the Mavs?
I need to talk about the Mavs because I already started my tangent earlier in the episode, so I need to go.
Oh, you're on mute, dog.
Everyone's gonna talk about the Mavs. Just go.
Okay. The Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, the second best player in basketball. He's the second best player in basketball, and man, oh man, let me talk about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, I am so excited to see him in the playoffs. If there is another team that won the trade deadline, it's probably the Mavs. I'm not gonna say that PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford are gonna change their lineups and change their world, but I think actually Daniel Gafford, is gonna be very valuable while Derek Lively is out. But man, I'm excited. I absolutely adore Kyrie, and I know this may think I'm biasly talking, but he's so good. The only thing that worries me about the Mavs, and the reason they're towards the bottom of my tier 2 is because I don't think they utilize him well enough to win more than a round. You know, I don't think that Kyrie is utilized well enough to win several rounds in the playoffs or win in an efficient manner in the playoffs. But yeah, shout out the Mavs.
Sure.
John, you guys want to say?
Mavs, I think Luka is just so good. Like I think they have a nice solid team, but I don't think they don't have enough pieces to contend. They're lacking in a lot of aspects. Hold on, give me 1 second. Because I think they need more like they're bigs. I think they're struggling in their bigs. I feel like Dwight Powell is not really enough for them. They traded Grant Williams for PJ Washington, right?
They got Daniel Gafford too.
Oh, they got Daniel
I
Gafford?
think their big position is great right now. I think it's one of their stronger
Yeah,
positions.
they got Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. Derek Lively's
Derek
now
Lively.
the second
Oh, I
best
forgot
player.
about Derek Lively. Okay, yeah, that's my mistake. But I just think I mean those guys are good, capable players, but I don't think they're contending like players. I think they need not an all-star level big, but all-star caliber. You know, like I think they're like that piece away from being able to like contend. But right now, I don't think they're really like close. I don't think that they're tier 2, so they're able to contend. But I wouldn't like put money on them to win it.
I love the Mavericks. I think I like the thing I like about the Mavericks is how they stagger their lineups. Well, actually, no. I think with Luka on the court, obviously, it's great. It's Luka Doncic, and he's great offensively, right? And when Derek Lively comes back, their defense is going to get so much better, right? But even with Luka off the court and Kyrie, the Mavs offense still works. It still runs. It's not like you take Luka off the court and everybody's just standing there like, what do I do? What's going on? Kyrie Irving still helps that. Like Kyrie Irving still works with that offense, right? PJ Washington, I'm so happy they got PJ Washington. because I think PJ Washington does more offensively for them than kind of what they were lacking. Because he's like a. I know people use this word kind of strongly. I'm using this word very lightly, but he's a 3-level scorer. He can hit that three. He can hit the midi, and he can finish at the basket. Right? If they run a lineup of Luka, Kyrie, Josh Green, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively, I think this team can go far. Not far. I think they can make it to the second round, maybe a Western Conference Finals like they did last time if everything works out for them. But this team is nice now. We saw Daniel Gafford get 19 points in 17 minutes just off lobs, just off Luka finding him.
I rock with it. I think
He's getting that Martian Gortat treatment.
I'm gonna say I agree with Dan about the Sorry. I
That's not
agree with
good. I'm not
lineup staggering. They do a good job, but I think the worst part is the Luka and Kyrie minutes are not as good as I thought they would be, which kind of sucks. And I hope that it improves in the playoffs, but yeah, it's just not as great as I want to see. Anyway, boy, go ahead. While I have a second here, then. Actually, John, what were you about to say about that?
Luka and Kyrie are plus 3.4 in the minutes they play together. So they play 24 minutes a night together, and they're plus 3.4. This is the
not great.
Yeah. So I mean, I know it might not always look great, but the numbers are saying they play pretty well together. I think really my biggest issue is just like they're gonna keep playing Tim Hardaway Jr. and by the time they realize they need to play Josh Green or that they need to play, like I think the best lineup they can run is, I mean, if you want to have Kyrie on the court, is Kyrie. You need Dante Exum, Luka, PJ, and Gafford, right? It's a good team. Like,
Not Lively?
No, I'd rather have Gafford on the court than Lively for sure. I mean, especially in the playoffs. Like, it's just too early. Like, why would you push a rookie into starting in the playoffs when you have a guy who's better, like as good as him, if not better? And I think it's just the biggest thing is like when they play teams like the the Clippers or the Nuggets or any of these teams that have pull-up three-point threats, how are you going to contain them with your guards? The thing I like about Gafford and Lively is they're mobile. They're still too small at the 4 position. I'm kind of high on PJ Washington. I thought the Warriors were going to get PJ for sure. I thought the Warriors and the Kings were the only teams that were going to trade for him. I was stunned when the Mavs popped up. It's just like, I think I'll go Phoenix is the 3rd best team in tier 3. I'll go Dallas is the 2nd best team, and I have one more team ahead of them in tier 3. Yeah, they're good, but just the point of attack defense, and I don't know. Can you really shoot this well in the playoffs to beat a team? How good is the other team's pull-up creator? It'll be an interesting thing. I think they could win 2 playoff series out of the blue, but I also think they get swept first round. So their variance is just too much in tier 2.
That's fair.
They're the 3rd best team in tier 2 for me. Ahead of the Suns.
I'm at second.
I think they're the worst. They're the worst team in tier 2.
Okay, so who do you got next?
After the Mavs, we have the Pacers.
3.
3, yeah.
3.
Great offense.
I think they can win a playoff series. I think they could beat, like, if they're the 8th seed and they play the Celtics, they could win. They can. They 100% can. They are, like, volatile enough to be like, dog, we just happen to turn up and score a ton of points and win.
Yeah, I know that graph, right? F around, find out.
So I'm saying, like, I wouldn't want to play them. Whoever plays the Pacers, they're probably going to lose round 2 because they're going to get gassed out chasing those guys. Like, the pace, everything. The only thing for me is, like,
Pacers.
They play too fast. The game slows down in the playoffs, etc.
We can move on if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, I'm done. Magic.
3.
3. I mean,
3. Great. They surprised me this season. I'm not gonna lie to you. Paulo's looked really great. Franz when he's healthy. So I'll give you credit. They surprised me more than I thought they would, and I'm really happy they are because I like the players on their team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gary Harris,
Franz Wagner, best player on the team, should have been an all-star.
Not better than Paulo, but that's a discussion for a different day.
Categorically better than Paulo, but that's fine.
Dang.
He's definitively better, but that's fine.
Miami, definitively.
I think he's definitely the best basketball player on that team.
Side.
He's better on both sides of the ball.
He's better on. No, I think Paolo's definitely better defensively, and offensively,
No. We're not
Paolo
doing
is
this.
better, and their playmaking is just as good.
We'll save it for another day, but I will make the case that
Okay.
Franz is a better basketball player.
Sure.
Got it. That's
Man
cool.
has the case.
Miami
Miami. 2.
3.
Tier 2.
Ooh,
One.
let's talk.
2.
Whoa!
I'm
Where'd you
moving.
go? John,
One.
what'd you say?
1.
You have him at tier
You
1?
have that many?
Yeah.
Wow, I respect you for doing what
Yeah.
I could not. I respect you.
Wow. I'm moving the Bucks down.
They were tier 1 for me until they traded for Terry Rozier, and now they're tier 2. Ridiculously stupid move, boneheaded, idiotic, foolish, churlish, insubordinate. He's the
Insubordinate.
best defender on the
churlish.
team. I don't get it. His numbers were so clearly inflated.
I don't
So
really want to
smart.
talk
Why'd they
about
do
Miami,
this?
but
He's
John,
best on my fantasy team. Just real fast, Bam Adebayo,
Best player on
top
the
3
team?
defensive player of the year. You said it, not me. But hey, playoff time though, Jimmy Butler will.
Yeah, he's hit me. You know, what I'm
dude,
saying.
oh my goodness,
Playoff
him?
time, Jimmy Butler will mess up anybody though.
No,
And
he's
Tyler Hero was
literally
really great.
coasting. He's coasting so hard right now.
He knows they're gonna make it to the playoffs, and then once he does,
I know, but it's like,
he's gonna
dude,
beat the
you
Bucks
know, there's
again.
possessions where he legit like, I don't think I've ever been more mad at a player than watching Jimmy Butler play in the regular season. Like, bro, their possessions, he comes down, he just lets Haywood Highsmith ISO. I'm just like, dog, you have a responsibility to the fans that have showed up to this arena to not let that happen. All due respect.
John, you're the only one who said tier 1. I mean,
Yeah, I'm done
Go ahead.
doubting Miami. Like I'm done. Like I really I have so
Yeah.
much respect for them. Like I can't just like let my like emotions be like, oh yeah, it's regular season. Like I genuinely feel like they're gonna be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like real talk.
Wow.
And I think
Honestly,
they can.
Yeah,
As a
yeah.
tier, I don't think that's crazy, but
I'm
honestly,
not
I
mad
think-
put them.
Like I said,
I can't. Put
I think
them.
it's Heat, Cavs are the 2 best teams in the East. I think the Knicks and Celtics are duking it out for 3 and 4. That's how I look at it.
They're
John?
on the they're on the bottom tier of 1. I think I can't see them winning the finals, but I can see them making it. So
Yeah, dude, they're just, man.
it's
Why the hell
Miami.
did they trade for Terry Rozier?
okay. Anyway, I
They
don't want to talk anymore. I have nothing to say about the Heat.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I know you got a lot to say about this next team, Lakers.
yes,
They're here? We're this high in the standings?
Yeah. 28
All right,
and
let's
26.
take a quick break before we talk about the Lakers. We'll be right back.
you want to take a break?
Yeah, we got to take a break.
Dang. All right.
Be right back. Welcome back from yet another break for us. We're going hard on this podcast. I think it's been 2 hours long. We appreciate y'all for sticking around for this long. Dan, you want to let us know who are we talking about?
Who is it?
Lake Show.
Lake Show?
Lake
Show?
Lake
Tier
Show.
1! Tier 1!
Tier 1.
Tier 1.
you guys-
100%. 100%.
Not
100%.
let
Tier
your
2.
bias, like, affect.
Tier 2.
I'll guarantee
Tier 2.
I'll guarantee 2 playoff series wins this year. Yeah, I can
Minimum.
guarantee it. As long as we don't play the Nuggets
You know what
round
though?
2.
Oh God, that's my thing though. I feel like we're gonna put the Nuggets in round 1.
Yeah, I feel like
That
we were
would be
playing
so
Nuggets round
bad.
1 and we're going to lose, and it's going to look embarrassing. I actually think we can beat the Nuggets this year. We're the only other team I think poses a threat to the Nuggets. We've looked good. I think we would have won the game 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I think we could have won it outright with all the injuries. I know we played phenomenal. It was such a good performance. Denver won off of a lot of tip balls, and they got very fortunate in some of those scenarios. This Lakers team is a contender. It's a contender. It's a contender. I was no trade all year. I'm going to stay quiet right now so I can make my case later. John, tell us they're in tier 3. Go. Tell
Yeah,
us where you
tier
got. Yeah, all right, whatever.
3, easy.
Dan, you got tier 2, huh?
I got tier 2.
All right. Shaylu, tier 1. Take it away.
Tier 1, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be fantastic. I have no doubt in my mind. We have the best defender in the NBA. Y'all know what his name is.
LeBron James.
We have Rudy Gobert. When did we get Rudy Gobert?
Sorry, the best playoff defender in the NBA.
There we go. I just
And-
need to hear that.
The best defender in the NBA. I'm not even gonna play about this. He's the best defender in the NBA. He's the best player on the Lakers. His name is Anthony Davis. I have been disappointed with LeBron a little bit throughout like the past few games. But damn, we look good. D'Angelo Russell.
He's been balling, bro.
I
He's
am
a hooper.
going to
Hey,
say, I am excited, guys. I am so excited to watch this team in the playoffs. Oh my goodness, we're gonna be so phenomenal. It's unbelievable. I have no words to like. I have no analysis because I'm just a giddy fan right now, and I'm not trying to be biased. I know it's gonna come off as bias, and I know Jonathan is thinking I'm biased. I know Dan may be thinking I'm biased, but dude, we're good. We're gonna be so good with AD, with Braun, with Austin, with D'Lo. When Max comes back off of an ankle, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm watching this Warriors game as well.
Stop! Don't spoil it.
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Wait, what happened? Tell us.
Oh, Curry, you're that dude.
Curry just hit a game-winning
so-
three.
Like buzzer?
game
No, not
winning.
buzzer.
0.7 left on the clock.
Fuck.
Oh, that's a game-winning 300%. All right, shout out Steph Curry. I'm gonna just keep it real brief right here with the Lakers.
I'm sorry.
Oh, finish. Yeah, go.
Vando coming back. If Gabe Vincent comes back, mic drop. I'm done. Thank you all for listening to my segment. Tier 1 team. They were the team that I wrote down before they were even named. As you can see, I'm going to tiers. Not like TIER, TEAR, tiers. My voice is breaking when I talk about the Lakers. I love them so much. If y'all can see my dorm room, I look like a fanatic nerd. I got a Braun poster. I got a Lakers flag.
I just clocked something. Dan, you skipped the Pelicans and the Kings. What the heck?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
They're way higher than the Lakers in the standings.
yeah. I
What
was about to
happened
say.
to the
Oh
Pelicans?
wow. That's on me. I did not peep that. I just skipped them.
All right, well,
I'm
it's
sorry, guys.
fine. I mean, we can round back to them as soon as we're done with the Lakers.
Okay,
Here's what I'll say. I'm gonna do no analysis right now. I'm gonna take 30 seconds to just say something. Okay. There's no duo in the NBA that's better than LeBron James and Anthony.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So sorry. Yeah, best duo in the league. Yes.
So playoff. Okay, regular season LeBron is not worth $50 million. Regular season LeBron's worth about $37, $38 million. Okay, he's a good basketball player, but he's not $50 million player. He's maybe even closer to 30, 35. Okay, because sometimes he just doesn't lock in at all. Playoff LeBron is worth 65 to 75. You just give him all the monies. Okay, Anthony Davis in the playoff, $85 million. Guys, people are so context averse in basketball analysis. I'm not going to say anything here. Like, I'm going to recommend you, like, if you want any real basketball analysis, go to my Twitter. It's all I put out. It's really genuine content. I'm being real and serious and deeply thoughtful about this team. That's what I'll say to go for all the content, because this podcast would be 8 hours long if I tried to do it right now. This team's good. It's been a health issue all year long. Darvin Ham has actually been phenomenal over the last 2 weeks. Phenomenal, I'll say. I think we're going to be undefeated throughout the rest of February. I think we might lose one game, maybe against the Clippers or the Suns. But if we don't go 6-1 through the rest of February, it's a disappointment.
I agree.
We're a phenomenal basketball team. And Dan, John, whoever wants to go.
An update
Hey,
for.
let me go first.
Sorry, update
Yeah,
for
I
Dan.
just saw Curry.
The Warriors Suns game, right? There's 0.7 on the clock. The Suns tried to inbound to Book, and I think that's Wiggins held Book, fouling him with.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They're reviewing it right now. It didn't look
And
like
right now
it.
they're reviewing it to make it look like see if it was a foul. It was definitely a foul.
No, it wasn't. How? He wasn't holding him. Wiggins tried to back up Booker, grabbed his hand, right hand.
That's not what we're here for. Let's
go ahead.
move on.
I know by
Real
the
fast with
time
the
this
Lakers,
comes out, they're already going to know what happens. So
Yeah.
I know. It's just for you guys, though. Dan, talk
With
about
the Lakers. I'm gonna get into an aspect y'all didn't talk about just real fast. Spencer Dinwiddie. I think Spencer Dinwiddie is gonna be real nice for us. Spencer Dinwiddie and catch and shoot 3-point and catch and shoot in general. Spot up shooting has been in the 80th percentile when it comes to shooting. His isolation scoring has been good this season. I mean, this season he's been actually this season he's been kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, but that's like they were saying he's on strike. That's how bad he was. But I believe in Spencer Dinwiddie. If we get the Spencer Dinwiddie that was in Dallas, who was balling with Luka, because last night who were we playing? Um,
The Pelicans.
no. Who was that one? Skylar Mays. Skylar Mays was getting
Yeah.
minutes for us. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a good basketball player. Shout out Skylar Mays.
Skylar Mays is not a real NBA player.
Why are you hating on
Spencer
Skylar?
Dinwiddie-
Skylar Mays was hooping.
Spencer
No, but
Dinwiddie
Spencer
is a
Dinwiddie's
real
obviously better.
NBA
But I'm
player.
just
He's
saying,
better, yeah.
respect Skylar
Skylar
Mays.
Mays was hooping.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
The
Skylar,
fact-
if you ever want to
which is-
train, you know, I'm looking actively to play at the next level. So please hit me up. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
All right,
what-
Dan, do you have any other? Did you want to keep going?
There's that, and then I think with Spencer, our shooting is gonna get better. We're bigger now with him. He's a guard. A bigger guard now. I like that. He's 6'6". He's huge. 6'5", 6'6". You could run him and D'Lo and Braun and AD and Torian and hey, what did he said? Purple inside a yellow phantom. I was like Cameron Reddish. When Cam Reddish comes back, we're gonna have our defense. When Vandal comes back, our defense is gonna look really good, guys. It's gonna be
The
really
only
good.
thing that's a little questionable about this team is that Vandal looks like he's going to be out for the year, which is devastating.
Yeah.
There's
said
pessimism
3
in the
weeks, so-
organization that he's going to come back at all. So, John, do you have your tier 3? Are we just going
Tier
to listen to
three.
hater vision right now?
Yeah, I would do tier 2, but I don't think anybody else is that. I have 4 teams already. I have Wolves, Thunder, Cavs, and Mavs. I don't think they're better than any of those guys.
Fine. We disagree. That's all good. Do you have any reason like you want to give on the pod or?
They like I don't. The record doesn't reflect. First of all, I know that's not much, but yeah, Lakers. They're not really consistent with it. They have a lot of talent, LeBron and AD, but I just don't see it. I don't see them getting far.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we beat the Celtics, the Knicks, just beat the Pelicans. Those 3 of the hottest teams in the NBA. Just putting it out there. But it's all good. I mean, I'm not like dissing on you. I'm just saying.
Is there
The
any
Pelicans were on a 4 game win streak. They've won 8 of their last 9. The Celtics obviously on fire all year, and the Knicks were literally undefeated for like a month.
And we beat the Celtics without anybody.
Yeah, so
Fair, but
just food for thought. That's all.
we'll see.
Pelicans.
Pels?
The
Durant.
Pelicans are my number 1 team in tier 3, by the way. I think the Pelicans can win a couple playoff series. I think if the Pelicans played the OKC Thunder, they'd sweep them probably. The Pelicans look
my
solid.
fault.
The Kings, I don't think any of us have them in tier 2 or tier 3. Like they're just.
3.
This is not a good year for them.
Pelicans are 3.
This is not a good
I
year.
don't want to talk about them too much.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I think the only contender we have left. I mean, we're gonna skip the Jazz because it looks like after they trade Kelly and Ochai, they're just letting it go for the year. So the Warriors are gonna get that last playing spot. Do we want to talk about them? Yes or no?
I mean, John, that's your team.
All right, fine. Shea Lutier, go.
3.
Dan,
3.
John.
I'm thinking about making it 2 after this winner today.
Oh my God, just 2 or 3. Come on.
3. High 3, very high 3.
I 3.
very
Okay.
high 3.
They're
I can put
mid 3 for
I can
me.
put them over
I think they have been on fire in the last month. Since Draymond's come back, they've been one of the best teams in the NBA.
Or straight
Surprise,
wins.
surprise! You mean to tell me first ballot Hall of Famer would the member of the greatest duo in NBA history?
Just
Yes,
made the
I'm praying for him.
game-winning tip on Kevin Durant, so
He
Game-winning
is
foul. For
that
sure.
guy. He's
that
that
was
guy.
not a foul, Dan. Stop it.
He's that guy. And shocker, the team looks better when he plays. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what? Oh, what? No way. Like, it's just fairly obvious. This team's solid. They're good. They just like
We're 500 now.
they're 500. Great. It's just like Klay Thompson. Come on now, brother.
Washed. Kick him
wash
out.
essential.
$40 million. $40
Andrew
million.
Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins. It's been yucky watching. The only fun spot for this team has been like Kuminga and Pajemski. I'll say the thing I love about the Warriors is they have 2 of the worst contracts in the NBA, and they're still a solid basketball team because they hit on Tracy Jackson Davis, they hit on Pajemski, they hit on Moody, they hit on Kuminga. Those guys combined, all of them are making $15 million. All of them combined. And they're all rotation level basketball players. It's like, and Dario Saric. Like, all of those guys can hoop. It's like, damn, if they just given up the first year Gafford, I'd have been like, this is vision. This is inspired. But
And Clay's making $40 million by himself. 40.6. That's ridiculous.
46.
Huh?
He's making 46.
Just give me at least like 1 million, bro. Like it's not fair. I can do his job. Like, just draft me, bro.
All right, John, do you want to talk about Kuminga for like 25 seconds and then we can wrap it up?
I'm so excited he's getting this opportunity. Like, continue letting him grow. We're not winning it this season, obviously. So keep getting him as many reps as possible. Make the trades for next season. Do anything. Not obviously not now, but when the offseason comes, we maybe make the play in. Maybe make first round. We'll lose probably realistically, but make as many get him as many reps as possible. Get the young guys as many reps as possible. Offseason comes. Try to trade Clay for like I don't know a piece of bread. Try to get Wiggins for like
he's a
some
free agent.
DoorDash. We'll see.
He's a free agent. He's a free agent. So his
Huh?
contract's up at the end of the year.
I'm gonna tell you, Klay Thompson is gonna be a Laker for like $10 million.
No, I think he's gonna get 20 in Philly. Philly's gonna pay him 20 million next year. I'm almost certain on this.
That's not bad. Go.
I think they'll pay him
going
20
back to
million
Golden
next
State
year.
for like
I think
15,
Detroit's gonna
40.
give him a max.
If
Caden
they do
Clay?
it, they should get folded as an
I would-
organization. They should get
Caden
folded.
him? That's
They-
Caden him?
Let's cater him.
That's Caden
Caden
him.
him?
But guys,
Hold on,
last
before-
topic:
Hold on, before you wrap up,
2016
before you
Chino
wrap
Hills
up,
or 2020 Mount
I
Bird?
hate you so much. First, guys, let's be honest.
Wait, 2020 Mount Bird?
It's Mont
That-
Verde. It's
is
Mont
that Caden
Verde.
him?
It's Chino Hills.
I grew up watching Chino Hills. It's Mont Verde. Come on now, be
It's
real.
Chino Hills.
No, Lonzo Ball.
It's
Lonzo
Chino
Ball's the
Hills,
best player on
stop.
that court.
Wait, Dan, where
We're
are you?
talking-
Dan, where are you?
I'm in my room. I don't know what you're talking about.
No joke.
Good
Wait,
night,
but
guys.
you said
Man,
20.
I am so like that was so like. Come on, you know
Alright,
what I'm
we'll-
trying to
We'll
ask.
save this
I'm gonna
topic for
say
another time.
Chino.
We'll do a debate section where we do all these fun things. That's actually what I think our next pod's gonna be. We'll do like the one-on-one debate stuff. That's always a cool idea.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
We
whole
might get some
segment
YouTube
just for- we're
content
gonna
out
have an
in the
hour
next
long.
month. Yeah. With that being said, thank you so much for being part of the 4-on-5 podcast. We're back. We've had a very stressful couple of months. We're very busy. A lot of things going on. Very fluid lives.
Yeah.
Please go check us out on Twitter. We're putting out a lot of content. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're gonna have some short form content coming out soon. We'd have some videos,
ASAP.
just great stuff. Like, and just listen, man. Thank you for all your support. We appreciate you all. And
You want to give a shout out to our sponsors?
yeah, our sponsors, our parents,
Gatorade?
our 2 sets of parents, and
DoorDash?
yeah,
Shout
our
out
little-
DoorDash? DoorDash?
Yeah, you know.
DoorDash.
No, guys.
Don't be afraid to
No.
sponsor DoorDash. DoorDash, don't
Hey,
be afraid.
Wait, no, why are we giving them the shout out before they pay?
Yeah,
Bro,
no.
what? Get out of here.
DoorDash, you know.
Come
No.
on,
Alright.
Pay us
DoorDash.
first.
Thank you so much
Pay us
for
first.
being. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being part of the 4-on-5 podcast. We had a great time doing this one. Let us know in the comments what you agree with, disagree with. See you all on the next one.